I always say to people, no matter who you are, we are all influencing somebody.
Sequins are like puppies, they're not just for Christmas.
You know, wear your sequins to work, wear them to Sainsbury's, wear them anywhere. It's okay to be yourself. You don't need to be anybody else. You don't need to look like Claire. You just need to be authentically yourself, that you are enough as you are.
Welcome to Off the Hanger, the fashion podcast where we delve deep into our guests' wardrobes, finding out their favourite fashion pieces and the stories behind them. This week I'm chatting to sustainable stylist Sophia Lorimer. And if you're not already subscribed or following, please do hit that button because it really does help when I'm booking future guests for the podcast. I hope you enjoy this episode. Sophia, thank you so much for being a guest on Off the Hanger. It's very lovely to chat to you today. We were just saying in our little pre-chat that January has come with full force. It's not a slow January at all.
Yeah, I feel like, what are those? I feel like I've been slingshotted in.
There's been no gentle amble into January for either of us. We've been launched by cannon fire.
Yes, definitely.
Well, I'm very grateful for you taking the time to chat with us today and show us around your wardrobe, which I'm really excited about because you work as a sustainable stylist. So I imagine that sustainability is actually a huge part of your personal wardrobe as well as your work life.
Absolutely, absolutely. Having gone a number of years, 6 to be precise, of not buying anything new, only buying secondhand, it is definitely in my whole makeup. I really do practice what I preach. So yeah, I'm excited.
And how did that start? What made you switch to that change?
Oh, how long we got? So I used to be absolutely addicted to buying. I used to buy everything and anything. I just loved consuming all the things because I wanted to fit in. I was at the age of like, oh, what's the latest magazine saying? I need that thing to, be the it person. And as I grew older and had my daughter, a lot of things changed. I changed, my body changed, so many aspects of my life changed. And I was looking at this lovely little human that I'd created, and I was like putting her in gorgeous, woolens, and really, really thinking about what she was wearing, what was going on her little, gorgeous, delicate skin. And I was like, my wardrobe is full of plastic. And I'm buying loads of things for myself, and some of it not even seeing the light of day, and I'm disposing of things so readily. And I got into the rabbit hole that is sustainability, and I never came out. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm having an effect on so much of what this little human is going to see and be about in the future. So that's where it all really stemmed from. And then everything changed. The way that I shop, the way that I dressed myself, the way that I started dressing for myself rather than other people. And yeah, just so many pieces of the puzzle started fitting in together in a gorgeous, authentic way rather than the way that it was for many years.
That's an incredible story. I love that for you. And obviously you loved kind of consuming fashion. Did that come from childhood? Were you one of those kids that really loved picking out your own clothes when you were small?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was 10, I'm from a huge family. There's 10 of us in total. And so house was absolutely crazy and hectic. And I shared room with 2 of my sisters, but there was an understairs cupboard that I transformed, like pulled everything out, Hoover, old paints, all of it, took it out and made it into my own walk-in wardrobe. So I had pictures of the Spice Girls and Boyzone and all the things. You could just picture it. But within that, I had all of my clothes all laid out, all of my accessories. I was really, really particular about my things, and it brought me so much joy. And I loved it just being so organized and all of my precious things all in one place. And I honestly think that that was the catalyst to what I do now. That's where the seed was sown back then, because the joy that it brought me when everything was in order was just so great. And I really took pride in what I had and how I looked after it. So yeah, that's where it really stemmed from. And the fact that didn't have hand me downs, I had fourth me downs. So in the in that regard, I really wanted to cherish what I had and really look after it. And it all just pivoted when I did have my own money, when I, was working. I was like, well, I'm not having hand me downs anymore. I'm going to go and buy all the stuff. And that's where that pivot happened.
I love that you can trace that back, that it is that kind of really circular journey of you had that really strong influence as a child of having hand-me-downs or fourth-me-downs. And then it is that thing when you get your own money, your attitudes really change. I think if you've been in that scenario, that's definitely how I grew up. And I had that same reaction that when I suddenly had my own money, it was always about having the nicest things and the new things and the best things, because I'd always had my sister's clothes. I'd always been given, yes, and suddenly to be given that opportunity to then go, actually, no, I'm going to go wild. But like you, I've kind of come full circle, and now I'm a bit more conscious about what I buy. And, I'd say definitely more than half of my wardrobe comes from pre-loved and secondhand. And I think it's a really interesting journey to come to it that way.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that, as I always say to people, no matter who you are, we are all influencing somebody. Whether it's Margaret down the road, you're an influence to somebody. And I think that having a daughter and having so many peers and all of that, I just think that our actions are being seen by so many people. And do you want to live with those actions and feel fulfilled of an evening of scrolling through, I don't know, TikTok shop, buying all this stuff, or that, you've inspired somebody to shop differently or to think about how they shop differently? I think that all of that definitely comes into play.
And the pieces in your wardrobe now, you've not bought anything new, like obviously you've had new to you things, but they have been pre-loved. But what's the oldest thing in your wardrobe?
The oldest thing in my wardrobe, I've got it actually to show. Are we showing and telling?
Yes, please. I love a bit of show and tell.
Well, I got my rail ready and everything. So my oldest piece is this All Saints dress. And it's hilarious because when I got it, it really was long. I felt like it was really long. But as I've got older, it's definitely like verging on a top. So she is about 20 years old, if not a bit longer. And we have been to many do's in this dress. If she could talk, well, good job she can't. And so many friends have borrowed it. Like, she's been everywhere. Ibiza, every girl's holiday you could possibly imagine, she's been to it. Got it from All Saints when I used to be a manager there. Oh God, years and years and years ago. And yeah, still in amazing condition. I get her dry cleaned. I love. And I love all the chain details as well in the back.
I love that's brilliant. And I love sequined pieces are the best and the worst. Because I love them, because I love a bit of sparkle. I'm an absolute magpie. But in terms of environmental aspect, sequin pieces are the worst. It's something horrifying. Like, most sequin pieces get worn 7 times and that's it. And then they head off to landfill because they're not recyclable. So absolutely. To have a piece like that in your wardrobe that is just so well loved, so well used, but also used in a community sense in that all your friends borrow it as well.
Absolutely.
That's just amazing.
Yeah, I've recently done a blog all about sequins, that they're not just for Christmas, because you will find me, hello, sequin jacket today in January. They bring me so much joy, and they're always like, as I said, that's really old, but this is like vintage. I'm like, let's buy the sequins that are in charity shops, or borrow them from friends rather than buying new, because there's some amazing ones out there, and they just bring me so much joy. And I'm like, why should we only have joy 4 weeks out of the year when we need it definitely on a miserable day? So yeah,
I
I'm here.
completely agree. I was saying on Instagram the other day that sequins are like puppies. They're not just for Christmas. And that is my new
Absolutely.
thing. They are like puppies. They're not just for Christmas. They're for all year round. Cherish them as you would a puppy.
Definitely, definitely. And if something brings you joy, I'm all about dressing to enhance how we feel. And if something really makes you feel amazing and it puts a smile on your face, why not wear it? Wear your sequins to work, wear them to Sainsbury's, wear them anywhere. I think it's really important.
This is it. We should have a campaign. Normalize everyday sequins. It doesn't
Yes,
have to be a special occasion. Just normalize everyday sequins. You and I,
absolutely.
from that campaign, I will be right there with you.
I'm in.
Perfect. What's the piece in your wardrobe you'd say gets the most compliments?
Oh, so this one is it's hard because it's not necessarily one piece normally. It's how I amalgamate the look or the outfit. So I'm probably going to go with these shoes, which are also my favorite shoes. They're really, really high, but they are a bit of a showstopper,
I
and
love those.
wear them to death. Slightly uncomfortable, so they're more like a destination shoe. When I get there, I pop them on, but I absolutely love them. They were gifted to me by a friend. So yeah, they're the ones because they're a little bit unusual.
The stud detail on them is just
Yeah,
incredible. I've seen, obviously, you get quite a lot of studded boots, but that's the
yeah,
first pair I've seen where it's got it all the way up the front of the shoe and at
yeah.
the heel as well. They're so cool.
So cool. And then this bit's elasticated, so but they're really comfy up here. It's just, I'm not used to a heel anymore. Like, showing me age.
I think post COVID, I think we all got out the habit and our feet just all went, oh, and
Yeah,
relaxed
they
and
spread.
spread.
That
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And then
The
after
COVID
COVID,
spread.
we all tried to get back in our heels and we're like, wow, this is really uncomfortable.
The struggle's
So
real.
unexpected.
Hmm.
Are you somebody who likes to invest in pieces? Do you tend to spend quite a lot of money, or are you somebody who tries to hunt out the bargain within the pre-loved pieces that you buy?
It depends. It really, really depends for me. I have a list, an ongoing list, and I really try and work from that list. Unless it's something that I'm like, oh my God, it's love at first sight and we really need to be together. I don't really defer from my list, purely because I really feel like my wardrobe brings me so much joy as it is. And I really practice what I preach. And the more you have, the less you see. So I'm really, and this year in particular, I'm going to really, really try to really pull it back and start customizing and zhuzhing up the things that I've got if I want to buy something new. But in terms of investment, I think my biggest investment was, well, until quite recently, was my Chanel bag that I recently sold. But then my next one will probably be my mulberry coat that I'm slightly obsessed with.
Oh, she's a beauty.
She's just absolutely to die for. So yeah, this was like probably my second biggest investment, and yeah, love her to death.
But she's a timeless girly because it's got that
Timeless. This is it.
retro feel, you see. I think, oh, and
And
so cozy and warm, which is exactly what you need right now.
absolutely. Also, I think that people get really they think that we should just invest in the latest thing, or this must have handbag or this must have thing. But my whole ethos is, and what I try to help my clients with, is investing things that truly align with you, your lifestyle, what you love. Invest in, make sure that the money goes there, and timeless pieces that you're not just going to be like, oh, that was nice, and then a couple of months later it's like, no, that's for the bin now, kind of thing. I'm more like, I really love pieces that align with my lifestyle, align with my true personal style, is really important.
And it's such a good one. I love that.
Yeah.
What is the newest piece you have? Obviously, I'm assuming it's a new to you rather than a new in packet buy.
Yes. So my newest piece is this little gorgeous number. I feel like I really want to show it to you on, because it's not going to do it any justice. I got it from a pre-loved shop, Spin Pre-Loved, and she's absolutely gorgeous. It's the sleeve for me. Look at that sleeve. It's just
I adore Stellanova. Chef's kiss. So
it's
good.
so good. So good. So yeah, that's her. Absolutely stunning. Love her.
And again, another really great piece for now, because I think a lot of people really struggle with winter dressing. They don't grasp the idea of actually it's about layering and finding cool pieces that you can put together. And I
Absolutely.
think for me, it's actually one of my favourite seasons. I love a bit of winter dressing. I love a good bit of layering and getting, all those kind of different textures and things working together.
Absolutely. And we live in England.
Yeah, it's cold.
9 times out of 10, we have a summer for like 3 weeks if we're lucky. So we all need to get better with layering, because that's the way that you utilize the whole of your wardrobe. I'm not a wardrobe splitter. I don't split my summer and winter, because there's definitely times when I'm going to need a full-on woolen jumper in the middle of summer, because that's where we live. And I think that having versatile pieces in your wardrobe that can help you feel amazing in your clothes all year round is key. And having something like that, I could wear that in the spring, I could layer it in the winter, I can throw it on as a jacket in the summer. There's just so many ways.
Exactly. It's about finding those pieces that have got really good versatility to work with lots of
Absolutely.
different outfits.
Yeah, for sure.
Are you quite sentimental about the pieces in your wardrobe? Would you say there's a most sentimental piece lurking in there?
Yes, there is. Definitely. I've got a couple, but the one that like comes straight out when you say that is my gorgeous bag that was left to me by my sister. It's a when H&M did Jimmy Choo, when Jimmy Choo did H&M collabo, and yeah, it's just really special, and I just feel like every time I go out with it, I'm like, she's there with me. So yeah, definitely this one.
Oh, and it's gorgeous. She had incredible taste by the look of it.
She did. It's funny, because even when I wear it and I go out with family, they're like, it's
Oh,
just like, oh yeah, it's just super, super special. So yeah. And I think that sometimes we feel like we should get rid of things, or we should keep them safe, or that we are left behind, or they hold a lot of memory. But my whole thing is that we should definitely use them. We should use them, and if we can't use them, have them on show, make them into something else. All of those things. Like, if I couldn't use this bag, or if it was broken or anything like that, I'd get it fixed and make sure I can use it. If it was a top or something that didn't fit me, maybe I could have it made into something else. So I think that it's just utilizing those things and still having the memory, but make it versatile and use it now. Because I remember I just had a client end of last year, and she had a dad's coat, like a suit jacket, and she absolutely loved it. And she was like, oh, I'm waiting to give it to my son. He lives in America, but when I go, I'm going to give it to him. And I was like, but you could wear that blazer. You've got a couple of blazers in your wardrobe, and we styled it and everything, and now she's wearing it. And it's those kind of things that I feel like, and honestly, she burst out crying when she was like, oh my God, I can wear it. I can still
Oh.
smell him on it. And it's just, I just feel like, why can't we do more of that?
I think it's that balance, isn't it? Of you want to keep something very precious and very safe, but
Mm.
actually you're not doing it justice by doing that.
Yeah.
You need to actually be wearing it and loving it and getting it out into the world, because that's how you kind of keep those memories alive rather than tucking it into the back of the cupboard in a safe place.
Yeah, absolutely. Gathering dust, and and I just feel, for me, I feel closer. And so many of my clients that we've worked with doing this, they feel so much closer to that memory of that person, for sure.
Your wardrobe so far that you've shown us is beautifully eclectic. I love
Mm.
this. What is the piece that most sums you up?
Well, that is so hard because I haven't got one piece at all that sums me up, because although I do have an eclectic wardrobe for sure, but I'm also, yeah, I love shiny. I love a little bit of everything, as you could probably tell. But if I had to choose something that just comes out at me straight away, but I feel like there needs to be some leather on this to really sum me up. But
Okay,
um,
we'll pretend.
so this is an upcycled jacket, denim jacket, dyed, and then with crochet flamboyance on the sleeves. Like,
That is spectacular.
what more
Who
could
did that?
anyone
Who did the
need?
upcycle?
Oh, a lady did it, that I sourced for Sustainable Fashion Week. But yeah, she's absolutely gorgeous. And every single person, whenever I wear this, is like, oh my God, where's that from? So yeah, I think that would, because I'm quite, I could be like this, but I can also be very much all of it.
But I was just going to say, you've nailed that spot on, because that jacket is quite eclectic. It's
Yeah,
bold, it's bright, it's got the different textures, it's
yeah.
got the denim jacket filled in with the crochet. It's perfect. You've absolutely nailed that.
So yeah, this is me in a
You
jacket.
in
Um,
fashion form. Now, the listeners of Off the Hanger, I'm sure, quite enjoy what a disaster I am when it comes to wardrobe malfunctions and fashion faux pas, because they seem to happen to me all the time, predominantly the wardrobe malfunctions, just because I think I am a bit of a natural disaster. Do you want to join the club? Have you got a story to share?
So, do you know what? This one is a really tricky one, because actually, not wardrobe comes up for me for this one. It's more hair, because for any your listeners might not know who I am, but I do love a wig. And I've got several. Sometimes you'll see me with long hair. Sometimes you'll see me with short hair. Sometimes you see me with a top knot of my own hair. So I vary in hair doings, should we say. But I did have one time where I went for a curly perm kind of weave on scenario, and it was so bad that when I look back on it, I'm like, why did nobody tell me? But it gets even worse than that, is because we went to a local event and I got papped, and it then is now in local papers, and my friends like to send it to me every time it pops up on memories of me in this curly short perm blonde situation. It is so bad. I, I can't even believe it happened.
Oh,
um,
bless you.
so
I've
yeah.
had my fair share of hair moments as well.
Oh,
Yeah, it's been a journey. There was definitely a period in like the early 2000s when I look back and go, guys, Why, you were supposed to be my friend. Why were
No,
none of you questioning my choices?
I know. Honestly, I'm like, you all said it looked good, but where was you looking?
I feel betrayed.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my goodness. So yeah, clothes, oh my God, there's been loads, but that the hair one sticks out to me so horrifyingly the most. Um,
Oh, well, I think that definitely deserves a place in the club. Your membership and your badge are on their way. Now, you
Thank
have
you.
already shown us your favourite shoes, which I just adore. I think those boots are so incredible. Are you always a heels kind of girl, or do you prefer to be in the trainers and things?
So I am 9 times out of the 10, I do like a chunky heel, but not so high. Normally they're like a good length. I do love a heel, a chunky heel with a good, yeah. And I've got back in my day, my addiction days, I went into Topshop and I really fell in love with a pair of boots. And instead of just being a normal person and just buying one pair, I brought all three colours. And I've still got them all now. And I still wear them. And this is, I'm going back probably about 12 years ago. And I just get them rehealed, get them like, yeah. So that's how I operated back then. But
I
I love them and I look after them.
You see, I kind of feel that because if I find a comfortable shoe, I'm like, oh, I might
Mm,
just buy it in the other colours as well because
mm.
it's really comfortable and it looks really good. And yeah, it's probably not the best. But like you, I have them for years and years and I have
Oh,
things rehealed and I really look after things.
yeah, no, absolutely. But, it's that whole thing, like you just said. I know so many clients, and you'll go into their wardrobe and they've got the same thing in lots of different colors, and having that can sometimes cause you to have decision fatigue because you're just like looking at all this stuff that looks similar, and it gets you stuck in a bit of a rut. So there can be that as well. But shoes, I totally get it, because they're doing different things. Like I've got a pair that are silver, a pair that are black, and a pair that are leopard print. So they're totally different in terms of what they're offering me. They're not exactly the same. So, but you can definitely get carried away. Yeah, I can see how it happens.
Now, you mentioned earlier your list of things that you would like to look out for.
Mm.
What is at the top of your wish list? If you could have anything, irrespective of practicality and cost, what would you have?
Oh, so do you know what? On my list is just like basic, boring stuff. Like I need a thermal top, and just really dull. But I feel like I need to make a new list of like high end. But my thing that I really would love to invest in is more gorgeous bits of jewelry. Like I really love statement pieces of jewelry. So I think for me, that's where I my money would go rather than items of clothing, because I really feel like I don't need anything um primarily, especially to have in my wardrobe. I'm more This year's going to be all about renting. If I want something that I can't, maybe get on my list or my wish list or anything like that, I'd rather rent it for an occasion rather than have something that's going to sit in my wardrobe that so yeah, I'll definitely rent it rather than buy anything. But if you're gonna press me for that, it will be jewelry for sure.
And is there a specific piece or brand in mind?
No, there isn't. I've seen so much because it's just not long been my birthday, and I was like, I was like looking at lots and lots of bits of jewelry from different gorgeous accounts on Instagram. Especially, I've got my gorgeous friend Sarah that does amazing pieces. Like one of her pieces that I'm absolutely obsessed with. So I love all things like this. And she's come up with a whole new collection. So I was like, oh, that looks really nice. So there's just so many that I would love. I'd like a cluster. of rings and
Fabulous. I love that. To finish on, do you have a piece of fashion advice that you would have given to your younger self?
oh, again, how long have we got? Um,
I
oh, but if I
think you've already taken the advice, though. I get the
yeah,
impression that you've already dished out that advice to yourself and you are now living proof
oh,
of your
absolutely.
transformation.
Mine would 100% be it's okay to be yourself. You don't need to be anybody else. You don't need to look like Claire. You just need to be authentically yourself, that you are enough as you are, because that's something that I struggled with so much when I was growing up. I just wanted to be accepted. And I think that as we get older, there is a bit of that as well. We just want to be like the models or like the influencers. And I think that we just need to remember that we are enough as we are, and we're perfectly imperfect, and that is okay.
That is incredible advice to finish on. Thank you so much for being a guest on Off the Hanger. I've really loved chatting with you.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that chat. If you did, please remember to recommend Off the Hanger to a friend.